So with mindset, one of the things is intentions. So putting in your intention and stating it, making it an active choice of how you want this holiday season to go and what you want at the end of it. Like what you can, like I just was sharing my reflection. So you take some time and think about how the holiday season is for you usually and how you want it to be different. Welcome back to the Holistic Hormones Podcast with me, Dr. Ami Patel, pharmacist and hormone consultant. I've transformed my pain, struggle, and journey with managing my PCOS into my passion to support women to gain freedom from their hormone imbalance symptoms. On this podcast, I share practical tips that have worked for me and my clients, as well as conversations from experts in their field. I'm doing this episode a little bit differently. So I offered to do this episode live, which I thought would be pretty cool. So some people may jump in on the recording, so heads up about that. And yeah, if you're interested in joining live in the future, let me know and I'll offer that more often. But first of all, today is October 3rd. Happy Navratri. I'm really excited about Navratri this year. And previously, like I didn't care for it. I didn't used to go to it. I didn't really like dancing. And a lot of it was like, I didn't want attention on me. Also, I felt like I didn't enjoy it because I was trying to be perfect about doing the steps. And yeah, I was just like, this isn't fun for me. But over the past couple of years, I've overcome those things and I just go there, I have fun, I hang out with my friends, I eat food there, and yeah, just have a good time. And so yeah, I'm looking forward to that this Saturday. And today, I decided to wear my red lipstick, my gold shirt, just feeling feminine, and because the holiday celebrates Goddess Durga and good over evil. So yeah, it's just like, bringing those vibes in. And I'm really excited to talk about today's episode because in the past for me with the holidays, like they were actually like, as I was saying, they were like more stressful and not fun compared to being like joyful. And I felt really guilty about eating food around the holidays. And then like, I would just feel really bad after from eating like quote unquote unhealthy. And I didn't rest. I was like overcommitted to a lot of social engagements. And yeah, it was just really stressful. And then afterwards, I felt like I had to, quote unquote, fix my PCOS and health after that because I just let myself basically get, I guess, like sucked into not being present, but just like kind of going with the flow of things and then just feeling like things were happening to me as opposed to making active choices. And then over the years, I like learned how to improve and still be able to prioritize my health and PCOS throughout it. And I'm really excited to share some of those tips today. And I really had to like try really hard. At first, I was just thinking about doing 5 tips, but I couldn't bring it down to 5. So I do have 10 tips, but they are all tied together and nothing that's overwhelming. And it is going to be all really helpful to you. And the way I decided to do my tips is around my HEAL method. If you have heard of it or not, but I will just tell you a little bit briefly about what HEAL stands for. So H is for holistic. And so with that, I believe in managing our health through mindset, nutrition, movement, stress management, and optimizing sleep. And so my tips are around those 5 things. And the next thing is align, A for alignment. And that just basically means that you're living in a way that's aligned with you, your beliefs, and how you want to feel good. And not doing things out of like, oh, I should be doing this or I should be doing that, but because that's not really aligned with you, right? So that's what the A stands for. And ultimately, E is empowerment, combining the holistic approach, doing it in a way that's aligned, makes you feel empowered. And that's how I want you to go through the holiday season this year. And L stands for liberation, which is being free of unwanted hormone imbalance symptoms. So tying that into the holiday season, you don't want to come out of it at the end feeling like, okay, I have to start over on January 1st and, taking like New Year's resolutions and trying to do extreme things for your health. But instead, it's about maintaining and that and improving it along the holiday season this year. So going into some of these tips. So the first tip, mindset, and everything starts with mindset is what I believe in as part of my philosophy and how I support my clients. Mindset is so important because it is the key thing that helps you through all of those other things like the nutrition, the movement, reducing stress, optimizing sleep. And without your mindset, like it can really help or hurt your actions and the goals that you want to achieve. So with mindset, one of the things is intentions. So putting in your intention and stating it, making it an active choice of how you want this holiday season to go and what you want at the end of it. Like what you can, like I just was sharing my reflection. So you take some time and think about how the holiday season is for you usually and how you want it to be different and setting that intention. And even through different like events that come up for it, like a work party or like party with at a friend's place, thinking about like, okay, what are my intentions for going to this event? Like, am I gonna connect with one of my friends that I haven't seen in a while? Or am I going to like try different foods? Sometimes, you know, that might be a limitation that, oh, like I'm not gonna allow myself to eat XYZ foods, but maybe, you know, you want to set the intention that, hey, it's okay for me to enjoy eating some of these foods. And I will talk a little bit about that next. But so just setting some intentions, like being present is an intention, right? Setting an intention to have fun. A lot of times we go into these places out of like obligation, like, oh, I have to go because it's like a family's thing or a friend's thing, but having the intention that, you know, I'm gonna go, but I'm gonna have fun through it. That is one part of mindset. The second thing is thinking about wearing clothes that you feel good at these events. Like you sometimes going to these things can be draining, or even just like if you're hosting as well, right? That can take a toll on how you feel throughout and how much stress it can cause. So you want to go to these events, you want to feel good, which is an example, like I'm literally wearing clothes that I feel good in right now because I wanted to bring that energy to this video today. So thinking about that, especially like for like Indian holidays, we wear a lot of traditional clothes and it can be difficult to find traditional clothes that you feel comfortable in. And over time, you know, I used to sometimes maybe not buy like clothes I would feel comfortable in because I didn't want to spend the money, or, you know, I would try to wear things that were like quote unquote fashionable. But yeah, in the past couple of years, I just realized that I'm just gonna wear clothes that I feel great in, and it's an investment into how I feel because that just affects me so much. Like if it affects all of us so much. So that is really important. So I would say, you know, think about what you're gonna wear and wear clothes that you feel really good in, because no matter how the day goes, a lot of things can be out of your control, but hey, you at least made that choice that I'm gonna wear this because I feel really good in it. I feel confident in it. You're probably gonna be taking a bunch of pictures. So you wanna have memories where you feel like comfortable. You don't wanna the first thing to think when you see pictures is like, oh, I look XYZ in a negative way, right? So those are 2 tips around mindset, setting intentions and wearing outfits that you feel good in. Next tips are around nutrition. So one tip I have is eating before you go to these social events. And like being someone that has been vegetarian my whole life, I've gotten used to doing this pretty much because, I mean, things have gotten better now in terms of having vegetarian options, but usually there really aren't. So I just have gotten used to eating food before I go to these things like events. But that can help with, you know, you don't want to go there like starving because you end up eating things you don't even like. Like sometimes if I've done that, I just eat like cheese and crackers. And I'm like, why am I even eating this? Like, there's nothing wrong with that, but like I don't even really want it. Like I'm just eating it because there's really no other options for me. And yeah, so trying to eat a little bit before you go, so you're not eating foods you don't want to eat. And then with the foods that you do want to eat, I recommend doing like a tester amount of everything. So I'm the type of person that like when I can eat things and if there's new things, then I want to try everything. And so then I end up taking too much of everything. And then I feel obligated to like eat it because I feel bad throwing it out, especially if somebody made it, then I feel like it's offensive to them. And I just don't like wasting food. So what I've learned to do is take like a small tester amount of everything. And then if I want more, I can always just go back and get more. That way I'm not overeating. And then I don't feel like really guilty afterwards for eating food that I didn't want to eat or for overeating. So those are my 2 tips around nutrition. Eat before you go and take tester amounts of foods. The next thing is around movement. So a lot of times when we have committed to doing like workouts and stuff, or we may not be, but this tip applies to both. We think that like sometimes we go like all or nothing, 0 to 100. It's like, I'm either going to do a 1 hour workout or I'm not going to do a 1 hour workout. But my tip here is to do just even 10 to 15 minutes, even 5 minutes of movement, just so that you are still keeping that routine. So that like the more often you skip a workout, the more likely you are to skip a workout. And then one day turns into 2 days, 3 days, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. And before you know it, you're just like, okay, how did I not work out for a month? And so if you keep that consistency, you're still getting movement in, you're feeling better physically and mentally. And then the days that you do have more time, you can do a 30-minute workout or an hour workout. The days you don't, you can still manage to do 10 to 15 minutes. And if you're traveling, I love recommending resistance bands to all my clients. And it's what I use myself too, especially when traveling, because they don't take up any weight at all, like hardly any weight, hardly any space in luggage. And it's still a great way to get an effective, quick, and efficient workout in. And I love doing this too, like if I'm like sharing a hotel room with someone and if that person's like in the shower, then I would be like, okay, you get ready, use the bathroom, but I'm still going to wake up and I'm going to use like that 15, 20 minutes to work out. And then I can hop in the shower. So just, yeah, doing things you like, trying bands out. But if that's not for you, then, anything like walking, yoga, a quick HIIT workout, whatever you enjoy doing, just trying to incorporate some form of movement, even if it's just 5, 10, 15 minutes, it's still better than 0 minutes. And that's still a win in my book. The next couple tips are, okay, so to summarize the movement tips, it was doing 5, 10, 15-ish minutes of workouts and utilizing resistance bands. The next tip is around sleep. So I would say that with this, prioritizing rest before and after social events or, if you're hosting. And this kind of goes in with the next tip, which is saying no and not overcommitting. So I definitely have had this problem where like I get really excited and then I commit to doing things and I can't, like I'm not a person that flakes. And once I commit, I commit. So I don't want to go back and say like, no, I can't. What I've learned to do is I tell people that, I can't decide right now. I'll decide like a little bit closer to the event up until whatever, if they have like an RSVP date, et cetera, et cetera. But basically, I just don't want to overcommit and, wear myself out. So a couple ways of doing that is, not overcommitting and telling people yes a little bit closer to if that's possible, and even giving yourself limitations on how many hours or whatever you may go to certain events, and just prioritizing rest before and after. So like if you have 2 or 3 events per week, maybe cutting that down, to 1 or 2 if that's possible, and doing other things beforehand, as I was saying, doing other things beforehand, like making sure that you are able to get sufficient amount of sleep before and after the days up to and afterwards, and or maybe cutting out on some other things that are not related to the holidays that you can, if that allows you to have more time for yourself to just rest and recuperate before and after these events. So that basically goes into saying no if you need to other things like coffee dates or, you know, going out to dinner to catch up with friends, things like that. So basically, that brings me to my few tips around stress is just making sure you have time to connect with yourself. And one way you can do that is knowing what your love language is and applying that to yourself. So if it is like quality time, spending time with yourself, if it's things like acts of service, doing things for the future you that you would appreciate, like for example, like if you're traveling, then packing in advance so that you're not stressed out. So that's something that, you know, you're doing for yourself that would reduce stress. If your love language is like words of affirmation, then reminding yourself like of the intentions, tying that in that, you know, these are the intentions that I have for the upcoming social events or the holiday season, and even just taking it like on the day to day. Some of these, especially like, actually, even this year, Christmas is like on Wednesday and Thursday. And a lot of the Hindu festivals this year happen to be on like weekdays. So just even in the day to day, like the small things you can do if you are celebrating it, you know, on the weekdays after work, but just giving yourself some time to yourself to just bring those stress levels down. And one thing that's really helpful, like in the moment or even before and after events, is like box breathing, which I really love and also recommend this to like every single client of mine and like everyone I know. So box breathing is super simple. You just think about a box and it has 4 sides, so it's easy to remember that you breathe in for 4 seconds, you hold for 4 seconds, you breathe out for 4 seconds, you hold for 4 seconds, and then you repeat. And it's really helpful to just like get present, to bring those stress levels down. My tips around stress is trying box breathing and making time for yourself to connect with your love language as a way to do that. And ultimately, yeah, just like anything you enjoy doing for stress that is personal to you, whether it does include things like movement, sleep, self-care, however you may define that. And I've done other episodes on this. I just don't want this one to be super long. So I will link the episodes actually around like self-love and self-care in the description below. And so now you may be wondering like, okay, these are some tips, but what's next? Like how can I stay accountable? And how can I actually instill these habits throughout my holiday season, the next 3 months, October, November, December? So I do have a 30-day group program that starts next week called Happy Holidays, Healthy Hormones. And it's a 30-day group program, which basically afterwards and throughout, it's to help you enjoy the holidays guilt-free without sacrificing your health. And a lot of the things I talked about, it's gonna help you. So like some of the modules are things like instilling healthy habits, self-care, actually, learning about your menstrual cycle so that you're living in alignment with it and in a way that supports your body. And therefore, like you're supporting your body and your body is supporting you. And then nutrition is huge around the holidays and all the holiday food. So that's one thing. And then movement is one of the other modules as well. So if you are interested in joining that, we're starting next week. I'm going to be doing 4 live sessions, 4 group sessions, like 4 live sessions where I teach on these modules, 4 group coaching calls, and then one 60-minute one-to-one session. So during that time, you get to ask me questions about your specific health challenges, concerns you have, and we'll address those. And then everyone gets to be part of an exclusive community where we get to share our wins, we get to support each other and overcome challenges that we have together. So it's a 30-day program starting October 7th, running through the beginning of November. So it's helping you through like Navratri, Diwali, Halloween, just in time to get ready for Thanksgiving. And the investment for that is $197 US. If you are interested in joining that, the link is also in the description below. And if you have any questions about it, let me know. You can contact me through Instagram DMs at holistic.hormones.pharmacist, or you can email me, which is hello@dramiPharmacist.com, DRAMI pharmacist.com. And yeah, if you have any questions about anything I shared in this episode, you can also reach out to me that way. I'd love to hear some of your favorite tips for managing the feelings of guilt and stress throughout the holiday season in the comments below on YouTube, or you can message me on Instagram. And yeah, I'd just love to talk about this. I love talking about improving lifestyle, maintaining our lifestyle through not just the holidays, but onwards too. So we still have 3 months left in 2024. So a lot of great things can happen and will happen. So if you want my support through the next 30 days, then join this group program. And yeah, I just look forward to supporting you through that, celebrating the holidays in a way that we can all enjoy them as time goes on. And with that being said, I will end the episode with saying, as always, be kind to yourself, be patient, and focus on progress, not perfection. Thank you. If you enjoyed this episode or learned something new, please share it with someone who can also benefit from it. I'd love to connect with you. Send me a DM on Instagram at holistic.hormones.pharmacist.